Okay. How y'all doing today? Well, I hope you're all staying cool because where I am, it's 97 today with a heat index of 107. So it is hot as a mug. Oh, okay. Well, I don't take wrenches away. So, I haven't taken any away. So it have to be YouTube doing that. Hold on, let me see if I can get it back to you, Hebrew Kingdom. They play a lot of games with our channels. Just give me a moment. Okay, you should have it back now. Unfortunately, YouTube do a lot of things, underhanded things to our channels. So a lot of times you'll see people get unsubscribed. Folks will get wrenches taken away. You won't get notifications. So there's all kinds of things that they do to our channels, unfortunately. Okay. So everybody, yeah, the list of countries grow and grow. But I have a theory to why this is happening to America. I really do. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get started. Unfortunately, I'm kind of pressed for time, but I do have time to at least do this part of what I want to talk about. So let me just quickly get set up here. Okay. All right, y'all, give me a one if you can see my screen. Please give me a one. Okay. Thank you. All right. Uh-oh. Go away. Okay. All right. Some of you may know this, some may not. Now, I know the EU has set a travel ban, but it goes way beyond that when it comes down to America. So, because of coronavirus being out of control in America, there are many countries that do not want to run the risk of their population getting infected. So, they are banning people here in America from traveling to their countries. So this came out in Forbes magazine, July 20th, 2020. With coronavirus continuing to spread rapidly in the United States, at least 33 countries have barred entry to American travelers. Starting Wednesday, the Bahamas will ban entry to U.S. travelers on commercial flights and boats. Boats will still be permitted following a surge of cases in the island. So they reinstated international travel to other countries, but banned America. The European Union, 27 countries extended their ban to U.S. travelers on July 16th and will review the list of accepted nations every 2 weeks. China has banned all U.S. travelers and all Chinese travelers that have been banned from the United States. Similar, Canada and Mexico will not allow non-essential travelers from the U.S. to cross their borders. Cases in Canada are as slow as they are in March, while they climb in Mexico. Japan has also banned U.S. travelers for the time being as cases rise within the country. New Zealand prohibit U.S. tourists from visiting the country as they have nearly eliminated COVID-19, reporting a single new case on July 20th. The U.S. has been under a level 4 travel advisory, most extreme, since March 31st, advising citizens to avoid international travel due to COVID-19. All U.S. citizens abroad has been instructed to return to home immediately. Countries that do follow U.S. travelers have implemented various levels of restrictions. Jamaica, whose economy relies on U.S. tourism, is permitting leisure travel from the U.S., which is crazy because you're going to let those Americans come there to Jamaica and infect y'all. So you should not be taking that lightly. Okay. But requires those traveling from Arizona, Florida, New York, and Texas present a negative COVID test within 10 days of traveling. Meanwhile, South Korea, whose control of COVID-19 has been commended by the World Health Organization, mandates that U.S. travelers quarantine for 14 days upon arrival, paying for their stay in quarantine. Damn. So when you go to South Korea, you have to pay to be in quarantine. They're making you pay for that time in quarantine. Damn. Which can cost up to $2,100. Woo, that's what they're charging Americans and keeping them in quarantine for 14 days in South Korea. Wow. So it's no joke. People are not playing around. But you know what, y'all? The way I see this is definitely payback on America. And the reason why I say this is because I want y'all to think about this. Americans, the high IQ Americans, have gone all over this globe bad-mouthing the Black community, bad-mouthing us. This is why when foreigners come to this land, they avoid us, or they automatically think we're violent, we're going to do some harm to them, we're on drugs, we're just ghetto and all that stuff. It's because these folks have gone worldwide carrying that message. The mainstream media is another culprit by always showing us in a certain light. So they have made the world feel and think a certain way about us. When people come and take naturalization classes, because I got this from foreigners firsthand that I used to work with. And the first one that alerted me to it was a woman that I worked with, and she was from Iran. And she was telling me right there in their naturalization classes, when they're trying to become citizens, they tell them to stay away from African Americans. Don't come near us. And then a couple of people from Africa that became citizens told me the same thing. So they have gone above and beyond to make sure anybody that live outside of America had a negative thought about us. Everything they feel and think about us came from the high IQ people. Now, I don't let foreigners off the hook, y'all, because one thing I can say is they need to do their own thinking. And the fact that they come with all these, predeterminations about us when they come to this country, I still don't let them off the hook for finding out whether this stuff is true or not. And in most cases, they just take the word of the high IQ and they don't even try to find out for themselves. So I do not let them off the hook at all. Okay, I don't. So the way I see it, now that the US is being blocked from going into other nations, I believe this is part of their judgment. The Most High ain't going to let them flee and try to find ways to get out of the judgment that's coming on them. So they are going to be stuck here and taking the full brunt of the wrath that is coming upon them. So they are not going to have the liberty to cross the border and go into somebody else's country at all. So there is no escaping the judgment that they are dealing with right now as we speak. Plain and simple. So the way I see it, they screwed us over, and now other countries, the very countries that they discouraged from being around us, they can't even go in those countries now. Not a coincidence at all. People don't want to be bothered worldwide with Americans anymore. They don't want to be bothered with them. They don't want them in their country. They don't want no contact with them. Look at what's happening to them now, y'all. The tables have turned big time on them. I never thought I would live to see this time where the world is rejecting the American people. You know, they wanted to go it alone. Well, they're getting their wish now. And you notice there are no allies that are stepping up to the plate on America's behalf when they're being banned from countries all around the world. Where's their allies now? Saying, you know what, we got your back. Nobody is stepping up at all. No one. So they went around this world convincing people not to have anything to do with us. And now the world don't want anything to do with them. Americans are being looked upon as a walking disease. Now us, Black people travel, but we have never traveled to the same magnitude as the high IQ. They have traveled way more than we ever did. But as you can see, their travels will be very, very limited from here on out. And America cannot shake the fact that they have done so bad with COVID-19. The whole world is watching America's fall. The whole world is looking at how bad America's doing. It's going to be very difficult for them to show all of this poor control over COVID. And you're going to go back into this world and try to convince the world to let you remain in the driver's seat. People are not going to allow America to lead anymore. You watch. Nobody's going to allow America's leadership. The only thing they got left And their bag of tricks is we'll take the money away. And as you can see, these countries are not concerned about American money. They're not. Because if they were, they would not be banning them in the first place. So that's all they got in their bag of tricks. We'll take this, we'll take that. Obviously, they don't want nothing from your COVID infested country, and probably much prefer if you don't send them anything else. Okay. Now I'm ready for them to ban American goods, being that, in fear of anything coming to their country will be infested with COVID-19. I really, truly believe that's going to be the next step. Nobody is going to take any American products in their country for fear that those products will be laced with COVID. So this is true. Yeah. Christopher Clipper, I'm glad you brought that up about China. China is actually making all kinds of power moves right now. They are trying to topple America in the number one spot. They're doing it right now. So they are pushing America out the way when America is down. And the thing is, they probably will succeed, because who's going to back up America? A lot of these world leaders don't even like Trump. They're not going to come to his rescue. They don't like him at all. So things are looking bad for America. Anytime the world is saying, don't come here. We don't want you here. We don't want your people here. Y'all stay over there. Now these high IQ people just can't hop a plane and get out of here no more. A lot of their young people, especially the college students, that's what they were doing back in April and May. They were flying to Mexico and flying down to places in South America, and they were, partying it up on the beaches. Well, these other countries don't want them. They don't want their little party crowd coming over there. So, boy, I mean, from March until now, things actually got worse. If America was really on top of their game, it would have gotten better in a 5-month period, but it has gotten worse. And you see the overall attitude of the people when it comes down to wearing masks. They are fighting it. And then you got the country trying to push schools to reopen. In fact, what state is it? It's either I think it's Florida. Their teachers, they're suing the federal government because they don't want to reopen the schools. So I said, you know what? They're not the only one. It's going to be a lot of states suing this federal government because they don't want to send their kids back to school. And I just saw Los Angeles is going through a second shutdown. They said it's the largest city so far to shut down for a second time. So, y'all, this is just looking so bad for this country. It really is. But we shall see what happens in the coming weeks. I have a feeling by the time December comes, it's going to look very different from July. Very different. And we're still not through summer yet. And it's very clear this thing does not go away in the heat. So we are in a heat wave and COVID is exploding. So I doubt if they'll be talking about this going away in the summer anymore. That's a moot subject now, for real. Yeah, yeah. So America cannot travel wherever they want. Mm-mm-mm. Woo. Well, y'all, I'm sure you will tell me what you think in the comment section of this video. You always do. Thank you so much, Loveline Turner, for the super sticker. You always do. And I don't know if any of you realize it. Whenever you give me a super sticker or super chat, I got it connected to my Twitter account, and it actually tweets out your super chat and your super sticker over there. Some of you probably seen it, but if you're not on Twitter, you probably won't see it. So it's just another way of me saying thank you to all of you that care enough to give a donation, which is always optional. But thank you very much, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. I just want to thank each and every one of you and just say, may the Most High make us the head, make the Gentiles the tail. May he fulfill all of your needs during the time the Gentiles are under judgment. May he keep you safe and far away from any judgment that's about to come down on them. Amen. Peace, family.